Dylan Miller, Luke Griesser, grand finals at PSL Michigan. I couldn't think of a better way to close out the inaugural season of the Premier Speedcubing League. And remember, as said by Tyler Rose, if Luke Griesser wins these 3 sets, it's all over. Luke looking for his first ever PSL title to complete the revenge tour from 336 days ago. He's been waiting for something like this. Dylan trying to prevent that from happening. He's solving first. And here we go for the first solve of grand finals. Dylan and Luke, fasten your seatbelts, folks.
12.
White cross the choice here for Dylan to start out. Little Locky moving through F2L, able to get through it quickly. Locky last layer, 587. Locky, but still a respectable time.
Yeah, good solution there, and turning was good at times, but then at other times, like that AUF before the A-perm, he wasted a lot of time, and that wasted time could potentially cost him this solve. A 5.8 is a very beatable time for Luke. Look at that fumble there, a U prime U before doing an A-perm is a little bit unfortunate, but could be good enough. We'll wait and see.
7 total seconds of inspection time for Griesser. White crosses the choice, puts it down with a 581. Luke takes solve 1 by 0.06 of a second.
And there we go, that fumble before executing the A-perm was what cost Dylan that solve. We've seen him just lose some of these solves by fractions of a second, by milliseconds. We saw before a timer stop error in the previous match when he was against Griesser, cost him a solve, and now again just a U prime U before a A-perm, cost him that one as well.
Luke looking to put the pressure on Dylan early. Here we go. Next solve for Dylan. Yellow cross is the choice. Quickly through F2L. Quicker last layer. Puts it down with a 572.
Still decent, but not great. Got a nice last layer case. Did the OLL lefty to give himself a EPLL. Made his PLL a little bit quicker, but a lot of moves and rotations throughout the F2L. Yeah, giving himself a U permit there, doing it MU. Boy, it's very beatable.
It is indeed very beatable. We've already seen Luke Griesser get a 437 earlier in this competition. Griesser, the native of Kentucky, currently at the University of Kentucky in college. Here he goes again. 7 seconds of inspection time again. Yellow cross the choice. Smooth turning through F2L. Puts it down with a 520. He takes the first 2 solves.
Yeah, he is happy with that. And that's twice he's been up against a pretty quick solve to put him 2 solves and up. And when you've got the pressure of going against the 2-0, it's hard to bring yourself back into this set. Good fist pump from Griesser, putting himself in a great position in this grand finals.
Chris, if Luke can take solve number 1, that is set number 1, that's a commanding start for Luke Griesser in this one. Dylan having to play catch up here in this first set. Very quick through F2L, 468. What a response from Dylan.
Bit of luck in that one. It looked like an OLL skip, a U-perm. Bit lucky throughout the solve, but still, you can't complain with a 4.68. That's almost certainly going to put him back in this set. Let's watch this back here. Yeah. Was that an OLL skip, or was it just seamless into the soon? I can't quite tell. Either way, 468. Great solve.
Now the pressure back on Luke here has to be to 468. Taking a long time to look at this scramble. Didn't quite see something he liked. Going for yellow cross. Puts it down with a 446. He takes solve number 1. Set number 1. Are you kidding me?
We thought he was almost going to be back. Dylan was almost going to be back in that set with that 4.6, but that solve was flawless by Griesser. Gave himself a really nice OLL, which is very easy to look forward into the PLL case, and got a nice, I think it was a J-perm as well, cancelled some moves into it as well. Flawless execution and a great pop-off from Griesser there. Wow, that was the solve of the tournament.
Oh my goodness. What a response from Luke Griesser. He sweeps Dylan Miller in the first set. And let's go back to this last solve. He took up about 13 seconds of inspection time. I don't think he saw what he liked, but still managed to get a 446 to defeat Dylan in this first set. That is crazy.
Wow, that was a blue collar solve. Just turned his way through it. Did have some fancy cancelling in that last layer, which eliminated any sort of pause from OLL to PLL. StuCube should be taking notes. But yeah, what a commanding way to start this grand finals. Only 2 more sets to win, and Luke Griesser will be your champion. Can Dylan claw this back?
Dylan is absolutely playing catch up right now, but now the order is flopped. Dylan Miller now will know what he needs to beat when Luke Griesser finishes his solution.
8 seconds.
Luke up 1-0. Here he goes on a yellow cross. Smooth turning here for Luke through F2L. Puts it down with a 541. Another good start from Luke.
I'm confused as to what that last layer was. Was it like a one-look last layer? I thought I recognized a different OLL, but then it looked like he was done very quickly. Let's watch this back. 541. Quite lucky on the last layer by the looks of it. Let's see what case he got. Yeah, that's a one-look last layer. That was very quickly recognized and executed. Good work from Luke.
8 seconds.
Absolutely. Here comes Dylan. Has to beat a 541. Working on yellow cross. Trying to get through F2L. Puts it down with a 472. Dylan takes up solve number 1.
Uncharacteristic ZB from Dylan. One of the easier cases, but still recognized and executed pretty well. And that's his second 4 of this finals.
I'm ready.
Dylan strikes first in this second set. He's up 1 solve to nothing. Let's see if Luke can get back on his A game. He can with a 521. Another just great solve.
Luke is solving really, really well today. He didn't start off great in the winners finals, but now he is just showing off his incredible look ahead and consistent turning. I mean, look at this well-executed last layer cases. Did get a little bit lucky, but capitalized on that luck, and a 5.2 is a great solve.
Dylan's got to beat a 521 here, set by Luke. Well within Dylan's wheelhouse, but again, the pressure on Dylan here. White cross is the choice. Quick turning here for Dylan. Big pause though through F2L. Gonna get through last layer with a 745. Luke ties it up at 1 solve apiece.
And Dylan is swapping cubes again by the looks of it, going back to the Super V2, I think. That's not a good sign. When you're swapping cubes like this, it's a sign that you're not confident in your turning, you're not confident in your cube. That start of that solve looked decent. The end of it looked the complete opposite. Something went wrong in the middle of the solve, which equaled out the set to 1-1.
Dylan's gonna have to wait before we see if potentially that cube swap is going to prove effective. Here's Luke going on yellow cross. Quick turning here through F2L. Puts it down with a 412. Wow.
Wow, he is solving well, but his luck is on his side. That was a very easy last layer case. Let's watch this back. There was about 8 moves. Let's see how great this solve really was. Solving on yellow, some lockups, finishing the cross, and yeah, look at that OLL. Basically just a PLL skip at that point. 4.12 though.
8 seconds.
Pressure is back on Dylan. Has to beat a 412. Quickly through F2L here. Last layer, a 490. Fast, but not fast enough. Luke's up 2 solves to 1.
2-1 going into our 4th solve.
That's 2 4-second solves for Dylan in this match that have lost 3 solves in total. It's brutal to be losing solves with 4s, but there's a big difference between a 4.1 and a 4.9. This solve from Dylan was better than Luke's, but Luke just had lockups, which meant his time was faster. Not lockups, luck, I mean.
We're at set point here. Griesser up 2 solves to 1. White cross again for Luke. Little inefficient there through F2L. He's going to want to put this one behind him. Blocky last player. Soft tap with a timer. 9.79 for Luke.
Not the solves you want to be getting when you're facing a set point to go 2-0 up in the grand finals and put yourself one set away from becoming champion. But he still has an opportunity. I mean, Dylan is expected to obviously beat this 9.79, and then it will be 2 apiece. Both will be on set point, and Dylan will have the opportunity to even it out 1 each.
Dylan just looking to stay calm, cool, and collected here. 9.79 the time to beat, set by Luke. Quick inspection time here from Dylan, and here he goes on white cross. Through F2L, puts it down calmly with a 5.53. We're tied up at 2 solves apiece.
It's going to be set point for both competitors. Whoever wins this next solve will win the set.
There we go. Set point for both competitors. Griesser has the opportunity to jump straight into a lead and be 1 set away from being champion. And Dylan has the opportunity to even it up and put the comeback back into fruition.
We've seen Luke clutch up in this competition. Can he do it again right here? And he lifts his hands off the timer, and once again it started and stopped quickly. So we're going to have a DNF here for Luke. Oh my goodness.
That means that Dylan
The time issues are back. Dylan wins that set by default. Oh, Griesser, the nightmare is back. He was solving so well, and then when it mattered, the nerves caused timer issues. It was his fault, though. We're just going to make sure the timer is working normally, and it is. It's the 4-pad mode. It was the right call to use 4-pad for this competition. It is the more fair thing for competition. But a lot of these competitors are not used to it, and Griesser throwing away an amazing opportunity.
Wow, the nerves are still there for Luke, and all of a sudden it is tied at 1 set apiece. Mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Chris, Luke went and uploaded a video on YouTube in 2024 discussing his mental approach, how it was not good for him in 2024, and I think you saw a little bit of the shades of that, just putting a lot of pressure on himself at the beginning of this competition. Since then, and since 2025, he's approached cubing with a different mindset. He has vouched for himself and everybody to approach it with a positive mindset, and although that was not an ideal situation with the timer issue, he's going to be looking to get back on the right foot here.
8 seconds.
Dylan going to be solving first here in this next set. We're tied at 1 apiece. Here goes Dylan on white cross. Little locky start through F2L. Still working through F2L. Gets done with it and ends up with a 7.68. Not a good start for Dylan.
And he's switching cubes again. Every time he gets a bad solve, it looks like he switches the cube. He's had some good solves, he's had some bad solves. He's been very up and down in these finals so far. He does not look happy with that solve, putting Griesser in a position to go up ahead in this 3rd set of the grand finals.
I'm ready.
7.68, the time to beat here for Luke, well within his wheelhouse. Taking 6 seconds of inspection time, working on yellow cross. Through F2L, down to last layer, calmly puts it down with a 5.60. Luke up 1-0.
5.6 second solve.
There we go. Luke obviously taking that win. Fiend playing over the speakers, putting a smile on both these competitors' faces. Dylan, he's solving first in this set, so he doesn't know what he needs to beat. He just got to throw it. And he's giggling at Fiend now.
Good to see both competitors vibing out to the songs played in the Blue Water Convention Center. Nothing like a little Travis Scott in the final round of PSL Michigan. Here goes Dylan on white cross. Little Locky again through F2L. Gets it through a little quicker. 5.65 for Dylan.
The solution was there. It was efficient. The nice last layer cases. The turning just too nervous. A 565, very, very beatable. This solve could have been about a second faster without these bad lockups. His interesting characteristic JA perm, or L perm as I like to call it, causing him issues there in the end of that solve.
565, the time to beat for Luke. Taking a couple extra beats before starting. Here he goes. White cross is the choice. Working through F2L. Got in the last layer now. A 549. Luke takes solve number 2.
He's just taken so many of these solves by just a few milliseconds. And that puts him 2-0 in this set. That is such a meaningful solve. You lose that, it's 1-1 in the set. You win it, it's 2-0.
Luke sticking with OLL PLL for last layer, and now it's back to Dylan Miller. Can he play catch up? A rough start there for Dylan. Working through F2L right now. Quickly through last layer, a 629, but it was that pickup that might have plagued him. The door is open for Luke.
Yeah, you're right. The start of that solve there was just too flawed. 629. It's all right. Like, it's not a great solve, but it could be good enough to win one. So Griesser was thinking he was on match point, but he is just on set point. He's got one more to win after this, even if he takes this solve. 629, the time to beat, or Dylan will remain in this set.
Luke got to try and keep his nerves calm here. He's been able to do that relatively well. Yellow cross is the choice. With a relatively long cross solution, able to get through last layer, a 548. Luke Griesser sweeps Dylan Miller, and he's up 2-1.
Consistent solving from Griesser when it matters. A clean sweep in this third set that puts Griesser in a position 3 good solves, and he becomes champion. He needs one more set.
Luke Griesser currently has 2 sets. Dylan Miller has 1.
What a story this would be, Chris. Luke Griesser, 336 days ago, upset by Varun Mohanraj, and now he is just 1 set away from completing the Revenge Tour and winning his first PSL title.
A 2-time champion.
Yeah, he's had a lot of time to dwell on his last PSL performance. This PSL performance has looked a lot better despite that timer start error in one of the other sets in these finals. He's still put himself in a commanding position. Here we go. First solve of this last set. Could only need 3 more solves to win PSL Michigan.
Let's see what Luke can do here to begin. Yellow cross is the choice for Luke. Smooth turning quickly through F2L on the last layer. 589. That's a good start for Luke.
A little bit choppy, but it's not bad. Dylan, characteristic of him to not hold his nerve when he's solving second. Much prefers to solve first when he can just stay in his own space when he's solving and not have to think about the other competitor or what times they've got.
And remember, folks, multiple cube swaps here for Dylan in this grand finals. Has not been happy with his turn speed overall, and he's going to need to beat a 589 here if he wants a chance. And reminder as well, this is grand finals, so Dylan has 1 set claimed. He needs to win 2, and if he does that, it would be a bracket reset, and we would do the same song and dance all over again. So Dylan, his back is really against the wall.
Oh, for sure. He's got a lot of work ahead of him if he really wants to win. He looks a little bit down in the dumps right now. I'm not happy with how his solves have been so far, but all he needs is a couple back-to-back 4s, and that's when Dylan starts to get pumped up. He starts to get fired up, and we need a fired up Dylan right now.
No doubt. Quickly gets that through with a 570. A rough start, but he's able to get it done. Dylan up 1-0.
I believe that was a lucky ZB case. Dylan doesn't know much ZB, but he does know the easy cases, and it's cases like that that in this solve played the part between a win or a loss. This one is just a back anti-soon and then a soon, and it was that got him the win. If he just did OLL PLL there, that suddenly would have put him behind in this set.
It was one move from Dylan and then a massive pause there as he tried to continue in this solution, but Dylan able to squeak by that one. Luke Griesser up 2-1 here in grand finals, looking to win his first PSL title, take down the #1 overall seed in Dylan Miller. 1 versus 2 matchup here in Port Huron, Michigan. Michael Rosencrans, Chris Mills with you. So glad you could join us on this Saturday, February 21st. And what a first season of PSL it has been. The second season set to begin on March 14th. We will be discussing that a little bit later, though, at the conclusion of this broadcast. But Chris, what have been some of your favorite moments of season 1 of PSL while we have a moment?
Oh, well, my mind goes back to the very first one where we had a Timon Koleshinsky versus Matti Hiroto Inaba finals. That was absolutely electric. Both competitors throwing down fours. Obviously, Timon's PSL record, the 3.4 to secure the victory. And then I think my second has got to be Dylan versus Timon in the final in the following week, where it looked like Dylan was just going to get swept, and then he had the fire lit up inside him, and he got fours, and then that 3, that was an absolutely electric moment. Hopefully we can see some similarly fired up competitors in this final and write this down in the history books as well.
No doubt, and there's some fireworks right there with a 536. It was that 3:49 a second solve from Dylan Miller against Timon Koleshinsky, and everybody remembers the infamous timeout that Timon took to calm his nerves down, and the infamous expression on Dylan Miller's face, and he could not believe in that moment that Timon took a timeout. A much different expression here, though. It's been a tough competition for him. It's been a tough round for him, I should say, in this. Able to make it back to grand finals as we expected, but it's been a rough one here for Dylan. His turning has just not been there today. And here the pressure's back on with a 536. Again, a lot of inspection time here for Dylan. 12 seconds total. He goes for White Cross. Big lock up there, finishing his cross solution. This is not going to be enough. A 7:19, and Luke ties it up at 1 solve apiece.
1 solve apiece going into the 3rd solve of our 4th set.
2 solves left for Griesser to win. He just needs 2 more solves, and he becomes PSL Michigan champion. Dylan needs to win 5 more solves without Griesser winning the next 2 to give himself a chance to bracket reset. This match could be over in 2 minutes. It could be over in half. It looks like we're back now, but Griesser started this 3rd solve with a 6.52 plus 2, so it was an 8. So Dylan's almost definitely going to put himself up in this set. Solve from Griesser just was not what we're used to seeing. He's been consistent so far, but here big fumble in the rotation, then opting to do the anti-soon ZB, which he recognized and executed pretty well, but the last move wasn't finished. 852, all Dylan's got to beat to get up in this set. Can he do it? A lot of fumbles. Come on, Dylan, finish this solve. A 7, lucky that was a plus 2 from Griesser. 7, lucky that was a plus 2 from Griesser.
He is absolutely fortunate. If that was not a plus 2 from Luke, he'd be up 2 solves to 1 right now. But Dylan is the one who is up 2 solves to 1. Again, we apologize for the technical difficulties, folks. Internet a little spotty right now in Port Huron, so you're experiencing a little bit of stream freezing right now. Try our best to work through that, but been on and off this competition, but we look to be back as of right now. And here we go. Luke Griesser, he trails 2 solves to 1 as of right now, but he's up overall 2 sets to 1. Luke on White Cross. It's very smooth turning here from Luke. Gets it through with a 459!
4.59 second solve.
Very close to a plus 2 there. You saw him check that last turn. He was didn't quite finish the turn himself, was relying on the table and the magnets to finish it for him. Sometimes the magnets decide to turn the other way. Got a bit lucky this time, wasn't back-to-back +2s for him. A lovely ZB case, and oh, look at that. Very lucky there at the finish, but a 459 's
8 seconds.
great solve.
4:59, the time to beat for Dylan. Whitecross is the choice. Gets through F2L, last layer of 485. He was on pace, but it wasn't quick enough. It's tied up at 2 solves. Luke is 1 solve away from a potential PSL championship.
That is the 3rd time Dylan has lost with a 4 in this grand finals. He just keeps on getting great solves, but Griesser gets slightly better. Oh, a little bit of a fumble before executing that H-perm. I don't think that really made the difference though. There wasn't much time to be saved in that solution, and you're so right, Griesser, he's on match point.
Quick inspection here from Luke. Little locky start though. Yellow cross is the choice, still working through F2L. Puts it down 644. Door could be open for Dylan.
Yeah, giving himself an E-perm here. Wasn't quite sure what he was going for. A little bit choppy throughout the F2L. Weird OLL execution. Lockups in the E-perm really opening in the door for Dylan. He's laughing at the music playing. All he's got to do is win this solve, and he's given himself another opportunity to get back in the match. But he's faltered under pressured situations like this before, but surely a 6.4 lock in.
Back against the wall here for Dylan. Anything worse than a 644, Luke Griesser's your
8
champion.
seconds. 12.
Yellow cross is the choice for Dylan. Big pause as he works through F2L, able to get through it. Puts it down calmly with a 567. Dylan has tied it up at 2 sets.
My heart was beating fast for that solve, especially when the lockups occurred early on. Look at this start here, starts good, and then the pause here got me nervous for him. Able to finish it in quick time though, with DG the artist playing in the background. And here we go, even 2 sets apiece. Griesser wins this set, he still becomes champion. Dylan wins this set, and we do a bracket reset, and we've got a whole nother best of 5 on our hands.
Wouldn't it be so fitting, Chris, to have the final competition in the first inaugural season have a bracket reset? I mean, how fitting would that be?
Oh yeah, it really would be. We've never seen a bracket reset, and to do it at the very last one would be so exciting. Dylan with the opportunity to get back-to-back PSL victories, Griesser with the opportunity to redeem himself from poor previous performances. It would be exciting to watch this all over again.
And here we go. Order is flipped. Dylan in a much more comfortable position. He's solving first. He's looking to set the tone in this 5th set. Yellow cross is the choice for Dylan. Locky through F2L there. Gets it through. Puts it down though with a 518. That's a good recovery.
That really is. He's been given some hope now, being able to capitalize on a bad solve from Griesser at the end of last set and keep it together. Shows some good mental, and starting this set with a bang, a low 5 is a wonderful start, and it's got to give him some hope.
Absolutely. 518, the time to beat. Luke Griesser has edged out Dylan on 3 4-second solves. Can he do it again here? The pressure's on now that the sets are tied at 2. A lot of inspection time here for Luke, and here he goes on yellow cross. With a locky through F2L, gets through last layer. Not going to be enough though. Got a rough pace there, puts it down with an 868. Dylan's up 1 solve to none.
A little bit of a weird finish there, fumble, finishing with the E moves instead of M moves. And you've got to think, the comeback is on for Dylan. The bracket reset is looking more and more likely every solve that goes on.
Dylan up early, 1-0 in this 5th set. Bracket reset is imminent should Dylan Miller win this set right here. Able to beat Luke with a 5-18 solve just a few moments ago. He's looking to keep this momentum going. Yellow cross the choice for Dylan. Lucky start right at the beginning. Another big pause for Dylan. Gets through last layer with a 7-16. Ouch.
I don't know what happened. He was solving so well before, and then this solve, he got a bit excited about being in the lead, and every turn was a lockup in this solve. Poor rotation choices, getting a V-perm that was actually executed quite well. That wasn't locky, but just every turn in that F2L was a lockup.
It's been a tough round here for Dylan. He's clawed his way back, though, to tie it up at 2 sets. Luke needs to beat a 7-16. Here he goes on yellow cross. Gets through his cross solution. Puts it down with a 498. Luke ties it up at 1 solve apiece.
With a 1-1 tie into our 3rd
And it's an even match. That was a great solve from Griesser. Makes sub 5s look easy. And Dylan, he's got to eliminate those lockups if he wants to beat a inspired Luke Griesser in this final.
It's been a tough round for Dylan, but again, Chris, you said it. You got to give credit to Luke. His solving at the beginning of this competition was not there. He's turned it up to 11 in this grand finals, and he has not looked back.
8 seconds.
We're tied up at 1 solve apiece in grand finals. Dylan Miller. White cross is the choice. Here he goes. Another locky start for Dylan. A little quicker through F2L. Through last layer with a 644.
And that's given Griesser a great opportunity to put himself on match point once again. 6.4, it's not terrible, but it's not great. Puts a little bit of pressure on Griesser. Just too many lockups throughout this F2L. Kind of a weird solution. A well-executed OLL. PLL knew that he was getting a J-perm after he finished that case. Kind of redeemed himself a bit, put himself back in the running to win this solve. But surely Griesser's got it.
644 the time to beat for Luke. White cross is the choice. Little hesitant through F2L. They're able to get it done. Locked up at the end, though. A 703. Dylan takes it 2 solves to 1.
He's been given an absolute lifeline there. We were certain Griesser was going to win that one. Dylan, a smile on his face. He's been given set point. He's been given match point. If he wins this, we're doing it all over again. And he's got 2 opportunities to do so. And he's solving first both times, which he is the position he prefers to be in. He just wants to stay in his game, play his game, and get some great times that we know he's capable of. He's got 2 opportunities to do it. Can he pull off this comeback?
He needs to have the solve of his life right here, Chris.
8 seconds.
Dylan very methodical, taking his time through inspection. Here he goes. Yellow cross is the choice. A blocky start, trying to pick up with that turn speed. Still looking through F2L. Getting through last layer with a 742.
+2.
That is a +2 as well. The door is wide open for Luke.
That scramble on yellow cross had a lot of possibilities, just trying to turn too fast. Dylan couldn't finish that last couple pairs, and in the +2 as well. He did have 2 opportunities. He's kind of fluffed up the first one, almost a guarantee that Griesser will take this one, but he still has one more opportunity when it will be 2-2, 2-2.
Yellow cross is the choice for Luke. Last layer calmly puts it down with a 556. We got 2s across the board.
This is the position we love to be in. 2 sets apiece, 2 solves apiece. This match could be over in 1 solve, or we could be doing this all over again. Dylan Miller will be solving first. Had an opportunity to serve out the match last, but 7+2 wasn't able to do it. He's going to take a lot of time to compose himself here because this has so much pressure. Everybody on the edge of their seat here. What a grand finals this has been.
Here goes Dylan. Yellow cross is the choice. Much smoother start for Dylan, trying to work through F2L. In the last layer, puts it down with a 606. The door could be open for Luke.
It's good, it's not great, but in this situation, a 606 is pretty great. There's so much pressure on Griesser. All he has to do is 605 and he's champion. He loses this, he's got to deal with the pressure of doing it all over again. He wants to finish it right now. He knows he's slightly the underdog, I reckon, against Dylan. He knows that Dylan is usually a faster solver. He's been given an opportunity, a few opportunities to win, and he wants to do it right now.
605 or better. Luke's your champion. Oh. A 586! He said a lot can change in 2025, and what a way to start 2026! Luke Griesser, PSL Michigan champion!
When he got to that last layer and paused, I thought it was over. The pause was long, but not long enough for a 6-second solve from Dylan to bring it to a bracket reset. And we are one solve away from doing another 30 solves or so, but Griesser managed to execute that ZB when it mattered. We were talking the entire match, should he be doing OLL, should he be doing ZB, and he did ZB on the final solve for the win.
It's been a long day. So it seems like as you were solving, you were having some decisions between ZBLL, OLL, PLL. What was going through your mind out there?
Really none of that technical stuff. I just kind of told myself to take my time in inspection, figure out exactly what I'm going to do, and use that time of executing what I expected to look ahead for the rest of my solves. If that happens, it's a good solve. If that doesn't happen, the entire thing kind of falls apart. So if you're analyzing my solve now or something, that's the bigger rate.
How big was it to win that first match and have that time to sit and prepare as opposed to having to go into loser's bracket?
Oh, it was great, yeah. Being able to take a seat, drink some water, eat a snack, it was a good mental reset to come back in and take out this very, very close match.
Any last words?
Shout out to my family, shout out to my fiance right there, shout out to her family. Yeah, that's it. Oh, go to QBGG if you want to get good fast.
All right, guys, that was your champion, Luke Griesser. Congratulations, Luke. Great job, man. And that's going to do it for PSL Michigan. Thank you, everybody that came out. Thank you for the hundreds of people watching us live on stream. And watch out, because we have more PSLs coming, I believe, in March. So watch out for that, and have a good night, everybody.
There it is, Luke Griesser, PSL Michigan champion. He vanquishes the demons from 336 days ago, completes the revenge tour, and gets his first PSL title. Here's once again the winning solve, a 586. And what a great reaction from Luke, from somebody who's been through so much the past couple years, able to start off 2026 with a bang. And what a way to cap off, Chris, the first season of the Premier Speedcubing League. What are your thoughts?
It's been so exciting throughout the year to see the first season of PSL, see competitive speedcubing spectacles like this. Congratulations to Luke Griesser for managing to take out this match. A little bit of an upset. Dylan obviously was the first seed, but Luke, a demanding victory, came down to the wire at the very end. So exciting to watch that final we were anticipating throughout the entire broadcast, and I'm just excited to watch more PSL throughout the year.
No doubt. Season 2 of the PSL begins Pi Day, March 14th. PSL Oregon kicks off Season 2. Trust me, guys, you do not want to miss it. But that is going to wrap up our broadcast tonight. For my broadcast partner, Chris Mills, and our entire crew at Speedcubing TV, I'm Michael Rosencrans saying so long from Port Huron, and we'll see you on the other side.